All right, we are gonna get started on this bonus video. This is Skeledirge versus Paldean Clodsire. Up first for deck profile, we're gonna look at Skeledirge. This is Skeledirge's debut. Just a debut in a bonus video. Go figure.
Arguably best starter.
No. Although probably the best starter Evo for this set. That said, we are going to start on the deck profile for Skeledirge, and we will see Skeledirge in the main event here shortly.
Alright, so to start things off, we have it with the derpiest of all the... Probably the derpiest of all the starters.
Yeah, definitely derpiest of the starters.
Would you say derpiest of all the starters ever, or would you say that's Toadile?
They're both Crocs, or
they're
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think they're both.
So we have Fuecoco. Fuecoco does have 90 HP, which is actually really high for a
it's pretty high
basic.
Yeah.
For a basic evolution line that has a stage 2-er, that's actually really high. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised about that. But that retreat cost, however,
The 3.
yeah,
it's pretty rough.
that was rough.
it's a chunky
But he is a chunky basic. I absolutely love his first attack name if it stays this way, because it is facing out, because that is perfect for this starter. It is just derp. But spacing out for one colorless energy if you need to use it for some chance. It's flip a coin if heads, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. That's it. Yeah. And then you have Flare for 2 energy, does 30 damage.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's if you're attacking with it, you've lost.
Hey, I mean, a sheep can get you a kill on an Entei, okay?
Yeah. Anyway.
Then we have Skeledirge X, which is a very bulky boy for a fire boy. He has 340 HP. He is a stage 2-er. So his first attack, Vitality Song, does 50 damage for 1 fire, and you heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. Very keyword, each. Then you have Burning Voice for 2 fire energy, does 270 minus. So this attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And as we're going through the deck profile, no, we are not currently running the Orikoro that you can chain heal your active Pokemon. No,
we are also currently not running the Armor Rouge from Scarlet Violet base set. That moves fire energy, but that is an option.
Yes.
Justice for Crocolore.
Huh?
Justice for Crocolore.
The stage 1. We are not running any copies of Crocolore, the stage 1 Pokemon.
Then we have 2 other Bidoofs that hopefully we'll remember do not get the capability of being sniped.
Well, the cool thing is Paldean Clodsire will not be doing any of sniping, so I think we're okay.
Yeah. So we have those Bidoofs because Lost Box is a thing. And Shen Pao is also a thing.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 B-Barrels for draw support. Then we have a Entei V because, you know, the whole legendary dog line of they just hit big number for bench.
Beast.
Legendary beast. They're also dogs.
They're not dogs.
Cats.
They're literally
Really?
cats. Yeah. The one's a leopard, one's
Nobody's
a tiger,
literally
one's a
corrected
lion.
me until now on that.
Sirkin's a leopard. Saber-tooth tiger is freaking Raikou, and this is a lion.
Okay.
The cats.
I've literally been calling them legendary dogs
You're not
for
in
like
one.
20
Yeah.
Correct.
years.
There was a big joke on Game FAQs back in the day where we called them legendary gerbils. But that was neither here nor there.
What?
What? Okay. Then we have Greninja. So a couple
You can adjust
things.
the light, 'cause it's like blurring the whole thing out.
Up or down?
Just straight, like that one.
There, that's way better.
Alright, so a couple things. For the Radiant Greninja, one of the reasons we are using the Greninja in this variant at the moment is because it can get the energy in the discard pile for Magma Basin, which you guys will see later, and also acts as a card draw to hopefully hit stuff that you need. Now, the argument is also can be made that yes, you can also in turn swap out Greninja for a Radiant Charizard because it's a fire deck.
Yeah, you could do either one, and I think either one's probably good in the deck, but we are trying Greninja first.
Then that is it for the Pokemon. Then we have our starting of our trainers being always starting with supporters. We have 3 copies of Chorus Experiment for a draw support and also to just build the hand. Then we also have 2 copies of Arven. In retrospect of what a lot of people say, they hate Arven, they think it's a bad card. It is actually a really good card. Arven does let you search your deck for not only an item card, but also a Pokemon tool. So it is important for those that are not aware of it. Choice Belt, Forest Sealstone, Sky Sealstone, Earth and Sealstone, if you run it, those are no longer item cards. Those are tool cards. So they cannot be searched out with like Irida, but Arven, on the other hand, can search them out. So it's still really good to get those. Arven can get Battle VIP passes if you go second. He can also get you rare candies and all that if you need those. So he's a good card. Then we have 2 copies of Boss's Order for Gusting. Then we have 2 copies of Cheryl because Skeledirge does not have a high attack cost and you just want to heal the damage and all that. Then we have 2 copies of Professor's Research for more draw support and also to possibly even build energy into the discard pile for Magma Basin. You have 1 copy of Raihan and 1 copy of Serenia. This is a really hefty supporter line.
It's a bit thick, yeah.
I think this is like the most supporters I've seen in one of your decks in a while.
13, and you also notice too that like none of them are 4-ofs. They're all
no, it's
all
usually
over the place.
like 2 ofs or like 1 ofs.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly shocked that like it's that many supporters actually. Not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, it's
so
a bit high, but we'll see.
Then we have, so that's it for the supporters. Then we have 4 copies of Nest Ball to go get you your whatever you need to actually just put on the bench. Then we have 4 copies of Rare Candy because it is very important to the deck because that's how you're going to get your Skeledirges. Then you have 4 copies of arguably somebody's one of their favorite cards in this room.
It's my favorite card actually.
Which is Ultra Ball. So we do have 4 Ultra Ball. We have 3 switches because Skeledirge's retreat cost is pretty hefty as well. It is a 3.
He's a bulky boy.
Then we have 2 Battle VIP passes. We have 1 Pal Pad, 1 Super Rod. For those that are not familiar with Super Rod that are just coming in at either Sword and Shield or with Scarlet and Violet, you shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck.
Real quick before we go on to, wanted to highlight the fact that we only are running 2 Battle VIP. A lot of decks would prefer to run 4 or run none. Sometimes people will try to get away with 1.
I don't think this deck needs
I don't
4.
think, for 1, I don't think you need 4, but it's nice to have access to it if your opening supporter is Arven. You can grab a Battle VIP pass. This helps you avoid the prizing issue of prizing 1 of. I think it's good to have the second one.
If anything, I would say if you want to go up on 1, go up to 3, but I don't think you really need 4. I mean, this is why we test things.
Yeah, that's what I don't think you need a 3rd one though.
So.
I think 2 is fine.
And then we have 1 choice belt. So the reason why we had the choice, so that's actually it for the items. And then we do have our choice belt and our Forest Sealstone being our 2 Pokemon tools. Forest Sealstone obviously is for NTV, for you to literally go get any card from your deck that you possibly could hopefully want in that scenario or at that given moment or even for future moments. Then we have 3 Magma Basins. Magma Basin is to accelerate energy to the bench fire Pokemon. Very important that I remember that because it's been a while since I played with Magma Basin.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Then we have 10 basic fire energy. Well, we just have 10 fire energy, but like the Scarlet Violet ones actually say basic on it.
Okay.
So that is Skeledirge.
So this is Fire Croc. with its little firebird.
All right, so a quick note on the last week's Paldean Wooper debut. We actually were playing with a 59 card deck.
Paldean Wooper, Paldean Clodsire.
Wooper is the
Or-
starter.
or, yeah.
He is a starter, clearly the start of the deck. So much so that we actually swapped him out for a different Paldean Wooper. But yes, we were playing with a 59 card deck. We were actually missing one Super Rod, which is in this list now. So we have
out for a more HP one.
made a very
One
slight
with
a very slight adjustment to the list, playing the different Paldean Wooper. This one has one retreat cost, as during our last match, we had Beach Court out and were unable to retreat.
What was the Wooper's retreat cost? Was it
Two.
2? Oh,
was-
God.
Beach Court was too.
I didn't
too
even
awkward to
realize that. I just assumed you were using a 1 retreat cost. I was just
No.
assuming that
No.
he
No,
was
it was
just
a 2
not
retreat cost.
use.
retreating
So the
it.
idea behind the other Wooper was to pull the stadiums out of the deck and actually get them available to you early on. The problem is, in reality, it just never happened.
And they never survived long enough is the
No.
reality.
Yeah. So we are still playing 3 copies of Paldean Clodsire X.
Go, Murder King.
Since our main attacker, quotes on attacker, is Alolan Raticate, not Ratatat.
Yes.
We're playing 3 copies of Alolan Rattata and 3 copies of Alolan Raticate from Pokemon Go.
So Super Fang is your main attack here. You're dropping your opponent's Pokemon down to 10 HP, and then you're going to poison them with the Stadium card in play. So with that poison damage,
Stadium
it's the
card.
And
Oh,
Stadium
with the
card.
stadium card.
The
Okay.
Stadium card has to be in play in order for that ability to take effect. So you use Paldean Clodsire's ability to poison the active Pokemon as long as there's a Stadium card in play, and with them only having 10 HP left, the poison damage will knock them out during Pokemon checkup, and you get to take prize cards.
I feel like Control Mew would have a field day with Clodsire.
We are going to play 1 copy of Galarian Moltres for that late turn ability to hit really hard like a truck. 1 copy of Luminion V to get our supporters out. 1 copy of Radiant Greninja for this is our gradient for our deck, because we can drop Darkness Energy and recover it back with Dark Patch. And 1 copy of Sableye, a new card from Paldea Evolved, as mentioned previously. If your opponent has a special condition on their Pokemon, it can hit 90 for 1 single energy. So
And just real quick, we mentioned this in the video or the live stream rather last week, but we're running Greninja in this list because we want the draw. Radiant Hisuian Sneasel does not help this deck, at least in this version of it, because you're bringing them down to 10 HP. You don't need to do more poison damage. It's not going to knock them out extra if you have extra poison damage. You need the 10 from the poison. That's it. So Radiant Greninja is just the better choice for this list.
okay, we're gonna play 3 copies of Professor's Research because draw power is a thing. 2 per boss's orders because gusting is a thing. 2 copies of Iono because Best Girl is still Best Girl. And 1 new addition to the deck is 1 copy of Clara. So being able to recover those pieces straight into your hand, especially in the late game, is very, very, very good.
And this does make Moltres a live option a lot more often. That is why we went ahead and included that copy of Clara.
Okay, we're gonna play 4 copies of Dark Patch because it's a Darkness deck, and we should play Dark Patch. We can play 4 copies of Nest Balls because basic Pokemon are running this deck. We're gonna play 4 copies of Ultra Balls because of those things other than basic Pokemon are running to this deck.
That's just ridiculous. It doesn't play.
We're playing
Church.
Look,
3
hopefully
Trekkie
the
Shoes.
deck actually gets to see play this week.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of luck against Shenpao.
And we're playing 3 copies of Trekkie Shoes so we can dig for our pieces.
That is a reduction of 1 from last week. The Trekkie Shoes, that 4th one was cut for the Clara, so we'll see how this goes.
And obviously allows us to throw a lot more Darkness Energy into the discard pile for Dark Patch. We're going to play 2 copies of Switch, 1 copy of
Secure.
Pal Pad to recover our supporters, and the missing ace, which I vehemently,
It was not going to help you.
it was the reason I did not win last week. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what he's going to go.
That's
That's
what
my
he
story, and I'm
said.
sticking with it.
Not that he struggled to set up against a deck that immediately sets up. None of that.
So we have 2 copies of Beach Quartz and
Yeah,
2
it gets to the
copies
deck
of
that just says, like,
Mezzagoza.
Hey, you got Irida, you're set up.
So 2 copies of Beach Court and 2 copies of Mezzagoza, because we need stadiums in order to activate Paldean Clodsire X's. And, does mean your opponent's stadium as well. So we don't need to, overly extend, but we do need a healthy count of stadiums.
I mean,
And
unless your opponent's stadium reads Path to the Peak.
which is bad.
Yeah. Very much so. So, and we're gonna be playing 8
That's why
copies
it's like
of basic
control
darkness
love
energy.
that.
And we're gonna be playing 8 copies of basic darkness energy and 4 copies of basic basic double turbo. Yes.
Yeah, basic. Yeah, ooh, yeah.
of
Not the
double
basic.
turbo energy.
I was like, at that point, it might as well just be a DCE.
Because Paldean Clodsire X can take double colorless and 1 darkness to be able to attack, and Alolan Eradicate does take 3 energies in order to get off its Super Fang attack to reduce your opponent's HP down to 10. But since it's it's an effect attack that reduces your down to 10, you don't mind that reduction in attack power since there's no attack power to begin with.
Yeah. So with that said, both these guys have the same attack. Well, effectively the same attack class, right? Three energy required to attack. In this deck, you're going to be making a darkness and double turbo, so you're always ready to go. With that said, we're going to get shuffled up, and we'll be right back. All right, let's get set up.
And that's why Shenpao should be banned in standard.
Come on.
Just tails.
I'm actually more worried about it. In
Oh,
Eternal.
okay.
Can you imagine how disgusting 10 pounds is going to be in Eternal?
Yeah.
Because you have Capacious Bucket.
Please don't ban it.
There's
Ban
no
it.
reason to. There's no reason to. This is a lot of damage.
That's the first mulligan.
Moly, moly, moly.
50 card pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pause again. We'll be right back after we finish the mulligan. Alright, so just 1 mulligan?
Yeah.
Alright.
There's the Molly. And then now we start.
Okay. Look.
Reveal. Best of 1, Skeledirge versus Clodsire. But may the best Skeledirge win.
Wait, what?
I think you're exactly there.
I mean, he is half asleep right now.
I know. It's time.
Honestly, though. Do. Whoopa. 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 Would retreating the Whooper even against Shenpao really have mattered?
Yeah, I would have actually made it so you could get a knockout earlier. Yeah, I would have. In fact, that one turn he couldn't get the knockout because he had to retreat and couldn't. His
You discard the Beach Court. How dare you?
Beach Court was in place. It would have been a 0 retreat cost.
Mm-hmm. Pass.
Coward.
You can't just make it rain today with Shenpao with Excalibur.
No, but I can definitely make it rain with Battle BOP and Nest.
Jeez.
Or Let It Flame.
Let it burn. Burn down.
Definitely want to be doof. The doofiest of doofs. Ideally, would you want 1 or 2 Bidoofs?
I think you can get away with 1, but like this deck doesn't need that much bench wise, so I feel like it's fine to go with 2.
Just in case you knock out 1, we'll go there. And
One card that's worth playing, or maybe worth considering at least in this deck, is the Moltres from Brilliant Stars.
yeah, I was
Actually
honestly
be
surprised I did not
pretty
see that in
decent
there.
as a single prizer.
Just a sweeper.
Just as a kind of the same role that Sableye plays in this deck, basically,
Mm-hmm.
to be an obnoxious single prizer. Entei's really good though. I just remember when we were testing Arcanine, Entei was like, "I'm not bad." Meanwhile, Arcanine was like, "I'm bulk."
Yes.
Well,
Dude. Look at that. Drawing cards and stuff.
7.
Very
Is
right.
right. Trekking shoes. Keep. I already have it, but.
You really making it more bold.
Honestly, I'm personally also surprised that there's no energy search in here.
Yeah, one of energy search is probably good too. I didn't put it in there. I did have it on my short list of cards. It's probably the 61st card to be honest.
It's so frustrating.
Is the beach cord in this card is what's probably scoring you right now?
But I needed that extra card.
Hmm.
This thing's only got 40 HP.
Yeah, squishy. It's really
Yeah,
squishy.
very squishy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a pass.
Arvin. Witch and Forest Sealstone. Stone. Ultramoth.
So you use the force system or
Nope.
He is not.
would you play? Oh, you got it off the Arvin. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing how good force system.
Air Candy.
I mean, it literally gives every a V-Star option to any deck that didn't previously have it.
Running deck that runs V, which
Mhm.
is still most decks.
Messed up.
Sequencing error.
No, I grabbed the wrong evolution.
Oh, will be barrel. Whoops.
Actually, no, wait. I hate to use
have it
it.
out, but yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks.
I hate to use it for that, but it's what I'm gonna have to do. I was thinking a turn ahead, and I was like, oh, I was like under the assumption that the B barrel was already out, but it wasn't. Industrious incisors for 4. Sealed cards. Rare candy. Magma basin.
That's disgusting.
Magma basin. It's what, 20?
20.
The last time I literally played with that was literally at the store with the Charizard. And then, honestly, just in case, attach there. Then we're going to switch.
Oh, that's a bit silly.
Well, I don't want him to knock.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's hilarious that you can take the KO.
Yeah, it's clearly why I'm doing it. And then we're done Vitality Song for knockout and healing the damage. Like, I mean, that is the right play to put it there
No, I
and
think
then
that's
there,
right.
right?
That's good.
I just want to be sure, just for
Yeah.
like. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what Zach really needs and it doesn't have access to?
Mm.
Peers.
His or mine?
Concealed cards.
His. You have Luminion access at least.
Yeah. Start burning.
Yeah.
But still need that specifically. I still need the attachment. Let's bring it down a backup.
Can you mark the abilities?
Pad.
I usually save this one for like if anything can't attack the next turn just because it's the different color. To like mark it.
Put this here for now. Patch.
To the Claude.
Did you support her yet?
No.
Yeah.
I think you misordered that. I think you should have discarded the other supporter in your hand and then finished off that.
Yeah, you are correct. In either case, Ultra Ball.
Record that Whooper did go down this turn, right?
Yeah, the Wooper did go down this turn.
Super Rod. 3 total, right?
3 in combination.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
3 in a combination, and you can choose to go all the way up.
To what?
You can choose to only do 2 if you want.
Yeah, I'm confident with it. Then, Minion.
I was
Should
like,
be a
if you're
top card
looking
of
for
your
the,
deck.
I was gonna say, if you're looking for the research, it should just be top card.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I want to look through my deck.
It's like, didn't you look through it earlier?
Yes, you're
Yeah.
correct. That definitely was the way to go.
And so I'm about to see what the other one was.
How we met.
It's
Okay.
research. I'm sorry, it's bots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, to be able to mess
You
around,
definitely
you
goofed.
You need that. Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, do we get it? We get to see the Wombo?
We did not.
No Wombo combo.
No wombo combo today.
But there is something we can do to disrupt it a little bit.
Not Iona. It's a supporter.
I know. Just thinking about the rest of my moves.
Your move, Yugi boy.
Alright.
This thing needs a good free retreater.
Misa Gosa? What's that thing? Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. That is not a melee Pokemon.
I mean, you can get it, but it doesn't go to bounds.
That's what I want. And let me make sure what I have here. God, I hate this. Okay. I have not manually attached.
No.
No, not yet.
Attach here. And I'm going to poison Skeledirge.
How dare you? What did he do to you?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sweet.
Do what?
And I'm gonna chase up.
Let's chase up, say.
Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand.
Alrighty. You know what card needs to come back?
Mhm.
Concealed card.
This is divine punishment.
Choice belts. Attach for turn. Research.
They make a stadium card that's like
Ultra Ball.
during Pokemon checkup, each player's Pokemon with rule box takes a damage counter for each Pokemon more that they have in play. One rule box they have in play.
Mm-hmm.
That way it can be played around. Be kind.
You played the research, right?
Yeah. White Cocoa and Nestball. Fail.
I'm trying. It's funny, but I don't get it. What's she doing?
She's dragging it out. Like the new supporter card.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Pulling it out of their hand, dragging it to the active.
that makes sense.
Pretty good.
Um, Illustrations and sizers.
Cards in hand, I assume 5.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, we got the knockout for sure. So what player?
And we are going to Burning Voice for knockout.
What does a Burning Voice read?
Burning Voice is 270 minus. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon.
Oh no.
What's the first attack do damage wise again? Is it 90?
50.
50. Okay,
I
so
wish it was 90.
it'd be crazy if it were 90.
If it was 90, that would be
90
so
plus heal,
busted.
It'd be like, oh, this deck's got some promise.
Draw.
If it was a 90, honestly, that would it would probably be either a tier. It would probably be a high tier 3.
Yes, well. What am I doing?
I have no idea. It does not come from the discard pile.
Taylor. I'm gonna. Where's that? Die. Messagosa.
Tails.
Weak.
Laura. Go full on this. Yeah.
Laura actually doing its job. What? Wombo combo time.
Conceal cards.
Wombo combo.
Right. Toxic swamp will poison. Or
I
is
mean, I'm
already
already poisoned.
Yeah. And I guess super fan will bring you down to 10. And
Between turns.
I'm not even gonna bother putting your damage counters.
What? Clodsire got a knockout. Well, technically Radical does. The Clodsire deck got a knockout.
Or candy. That was my top deck, by the way.
The Raihan?
Yeah.
That's so disgusting.
Raihan.
What do you even need?
I really want a. What do I need?
I mean, you kind of don't.
Honestly, what I was originally planning and what I did, I think that was actually a misplay on my part.
I mean, you haven't attached return yet, right? So you can just give an energy.
No.
Might as well. You don't have one hand already. Get a boss too for next turn. I do think though that you have to go after Eradicate.
Basin.
This guy makes it go so.
Magma Basin. Just use some size reach for 2. And Burning Voice for knockout.
Good shot.
He only used 1 dark patch.
He hasn't used much in terms of resources this game.
I thought he used more.
What, double turbo to the red?
Tails.
Tails. Oh, I'm surprised. Your luck didn't rub off on you for once, sir, Christian.
Right? Sealed cards.
That's good. Okay. Wombo combo happening twice in the same game. What is this madness?
What's the Moltres output again?
50 times each, and then 20 base, I believe.
Yeah. So 50 times each price you've taken. By Walter's here, your prices.
And then how much is the base?
20. So you're either looking at right now is 150, 170. One more is 220, and one more is 270. 270. And here is the real question.
Do you use the support card in your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
I
I
think
do.
you do, because I think you have to try to prep your spell. Then again, there's those two, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna.
Actually a tough call.
Yeah, I guess the thing is that this requires setup. I think I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit and not play a support. All right. Toxic Swing to poison, and then Super Fang to back out between turns.
Surprise grammar. I can feel it. Can you imagine? Freaking Kramer just comes out, man.
Concealed cards. When you don't have another rat on the field, right?
I do not.
That he's chewing on something.
He probably is.
Music goes on.
That is what, 3 heads on these guys in this game?
Mm-hmm.
Unprecedented success rate.
Burning voice for knockout.
What's he doing?
He jumped
Oh,
up and
no.
he hit the.
They like those both a little too much.
Yeah. Two prizes, huh?
Mhm. I mean, it's not just straight up a murder fest, like,
No, it's not.
or slaughter fest, I should say.
What are my possible draws? It's like very, very improbable.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Let me see the discard also.
I'm looking through it first.
Energy situation isn't too bad actually, but it's still rough.
Let me see if I can miss it goes. Die, please.
Tails.
That's the tails.
5 of the 14, I think.
You're weird, Iroh.
Are you drinking ceiling rainwater? A fluffy butt. You a fluffy butt.
He says, "What is this foreign object in my?"
Concealed cards.
Going for it?
Conceal you.
Kind of makes my decision for me.
Yep, sure does. You have a dark patch in hand at least, or no?
I do not. I'm still not playing.
Is that showing up on the stream fine, or do you want me to use a different one?
Which?
The die. Like, which one shows up better, that or?
Oh, yeah, the brighter one. Oh, yeah, for sure. You're bumping your own stadium. I mean, if you don't hit it, you just lose anyway, so.
Research.
Thank God.
You're waiting for
1,
that
2, 3,
boss,
4,
right?
5.
No, I was worried he was on Iono.
Yeah. Oh, you know it's both the 2?
If it meant you saving a game, yes.
I mean, that's not bad, actually.
Mm-hmm. I see it.
That's why I was worried.
Oh, Okay.
There
Pretty
There are
disappointing.
so many plays I am thinking of right now that resolved around literally not getting Iono.
Here's a problem with that.
Set it up, threaten it.
I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
Or would you use attach and then one?
Hold on. I have an attached return.
No.
One short. Trekking shoes.
That's so good.
No. No.
Damn.
I can't cheese my way into this. I can't double attach.
I mean, you could, but that's cheating.
2 prize penalty.
Well, it's cheating. It's not a 2 price penalty.
I mean, if he has the boss, he wins anyway, so.
I mean, yeah, because he just goes after the fish. That's 2 prizes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he goes after the Moltres and be my guest.
It's a very, very tasty fish.
Be my guest. Be my guest.
Might as well just put it all on here just in case of the Iono.
Is this run Iono?
Your list?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Is this? Let's... You're playing Fire Guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually does not play.
Yeah.
Saw it here, folks. We have tested a
So,
list that does not run Best Girl.
I know, right?
It's a 20 on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, poison. Yeah. And pass. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
All you had to say was he had a boss.
Well, so here's the reason why I did not want you to Iono me, because like let's say you knock out that guy.
If he knocks out that guy, it's game.
we both know. Look, if you got
Well,
an
yeah.
IO node,
Actually,
you would have
yeah.
lost. Yes. Yes.
If you had knocked out Skeledirge, or like say
The
you
last 2 prizes, dude, that's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
say you bossed
'Cause if
up
you'd hit this, you
Entei
would've
to hit with a squishy boy, like hit into him. I was banking on super
The
rotting.
last card in deck.
I was banking on super rotting in these 3 basics.
You were fine. You had boss. You had game.
Yeah.
You don't need to explain everything else.
Well, even if you just had a switch, you'd have been fine, right?
With what?
If you just had a switch, well, I guess you'd still need
He-
Iono, but
Where the heck is the 10th energy?
Oh, if I would have had a switch, yeah.
1,
If I
2, 3, 4, 5.
If I had
7, 8,
enough
9.
resources
Was it
here-
actually deck?
or if I
Yeah.
had the Rattata when I first searched for it and I knew it was prized, I would have had enough to wombo combo 3 times in a row, and I had the boss in hand. Yeah. And it literally, I had the boss in hand, to bring it ready to bring up the. Well, I didn't really need it if I was gonna wombo combo.
All right, well, that is Clodsire versus Skeledirge. Surprisingly less one-sided than we anticipated, but Skeledirge still did pretty well, I think, and Clodsire also actually did okay. Those changes, I think, helped Clara being
I think
MVP.
it actually being able to be played helps.
Well, I think the thing is Skeledirge is a slower deck than Chen Pao. Chen Pao is just really fast.
Really fast and really puts on the
pressure. It's
pressure
very
and
high pressure, very, very fast. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's little video.
like honestly, if you happen to draw out a Chen Pao into very late game, that's where it will struggle. It struggles really good. Chen Pao is really good for early and early into mid game is where it's really good. But long games, probably 9 times out of 10 it will lose.
It seems like it has
What
like-
exactly is a long game for Shimpao?
I guess you just keep judging away the Iridas. That way they can't get into the Excalibur.
I mean, I
That's
think
all very, very situational. Yeah, I have an
Shimpao-
Iono for every Irida.
Chen Pao also struggles against Ting Lu.
Yeah.
Because Ting Lu is like its whole purpose in life is to make Chen Pao hate life.
No, you know what also could hurt Chen Pao?
Hmm.
Alolan Vulpix V-Star.
Yeah, but it can just run it.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like it. And if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe. That said, I will see you on Friday for another live stream.